And the only way to stave off mankind's extinction is with a weapon more powerful than any atomic device. That weapon is fear.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most well-intentioned TV bad guys. We'll be getting into spoilers for various TV shows, so consider this your warning.
Mojo, a good guy after all. Had me fooled, but bravo, Mr. Jojo, bravo!
Number 20, Rick Flag Sr., Peacemaker. Did anybody expect this character to slowly become one of the DCU's big bads? While Rick Flag Sr. didn't start out as a bad guy initially, his lust for revenge ultimately took hold of him. This military man went from battling monsters in Creature Commandos to exiling soldiers in Peacemaker. But is he really in the wrong here? Don't forget that Christopher Smith brutally murdered Flag's son, Rick Flag Jr.
Peacemaker. What a joke.
A parent outliving their child can be horrifying, and this pain no doubt clouded Rick Sr.'s decisions. So with all that in mind, can you really blame him for how he responded? Rick was just getting justice for his dead son, and honestly, shipping Peacemaker off to another planet feels deserved. Sorry, not sorry.
This is for Ricky. You piece of shit.
Number 19, Bloodwork, The Flash. Ramsey Rosso became obsessed with stopping death after losing his mother, and eventually he became so obsessed with immortality that he tried infecting mankind with his special blood. This would theoretically give the world endless life.
Ramsey, whatever the hell your plan is, we will stop you.
I've already done it. I've chored death, but not for you. Continue our mission. Kill them!
On paper, trying to stop people from dying is incredibly noble, and if anything, you could argue that the Flash is the villain for trying to stop him. All that being said, Ramsey definitely went a little bit off the deep end, even if he meant well. Look, death is an incredibly scary thing and a concept that many people have had difficulty coming to terms with since the dawn of time. But dying is also a natural part of life, and attempts to cheat it can sometimes be costly.
I'm only trying to improve your multiverse by ending death. Then I can bring every world together under one mind for singular purpose. Immortality.
Those worlds don't belong to you.
Number 18, Stevie, Wizards of Waverly Place. The ability to practice magic is a sweet gift, but at a certain age, wizards have to compete in a competition, and if they lose, they're stripped of their powers. It's pretty messed up.
Want an explanation? Here it is. Warren won. But I don't want to give up my powers, okay? It's not fair that only one person gets to keep their powers.
Stevie Nichols hated this idea and figured it was time for a change. But instead of being treated like a trailblazer pushing for reform, she's instead presented as a bad guy. How is that fair?
The hour of victory is near, my followers. Very soon we'll have enough wizards signed up to start the revolution!
The wizard competition was a cruel game that would only foster resentment and tear down families. Stevie had the right idea getting rid of it, and fans universally agreed. Quite frankly, it's a bummer that Alex and the Waverly Place gang stopped her because Stevie was onto something huge. Number 17, Mojo Jojo, The Powerpuff Girls. Some villains want world domination, and some genuinely just want to make the world a better place. Mojo Jojo is a unique villain because he actually managed to achieve both. In the TV special, The Powerpuff Girls Rule, Mojo gets a special key which lets him control the world.
Yes, 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 yes! Finally, I, Mojo Jojo, rule the world!
Shockingly though, he actually transforms the planet into a world completely free of all crime and injustice. How often are there supervillains who actually change the world for the better? Maybe he's not so rotten after all.
Stop global warming! Save the whales! Cure all disease! End all war! And finally, free puppies for everyone!
Granted, he eventually started messing with Townsville again after he got bored. But still, look at the positives. At the end of the day, Mojo did some serious good, and no one can take that away from him. Number 16, Magneto, X-Men 97. Mutants are an extremely powerful yet also extremely oppressed group of people, and Magneto has only ever wanted mutants to be able to survive.
The tragic fact that I did not consign those sapiens to the waste bin of history is proof of my desire to honor Charles Xavier's dream of mutant-human coexistence.
We'll admit that he often goes to extreme lengths to get what he wants, but at the root of things, he means well. In fact, when his fellow mutant, Aurora Monroe, gets injured by some bigots, Magneto steps up to fix things. He scares the daylights out of some humans and delivers a warning basically telling humanity to chill out.
This is a shared world with a common future, and that my kind, like yours, have the right to live in it.
Magneto is a scary yet complex supervillain who represents the idea that the ends justify the means. We can't always support his actions, but we can understand why he is the way he is.
Please. Do not make me let you down.
Number 15, Chuck McGill, Better Call Saul. As the brother of notorious screw-up Jimmy McGill, Chuck has seen quite a lot of blunders and has more often than not had to fix them. So with that in mind, it can't be that surprising that Chuck didn't want his brother to succeed as a lawyer.
You told him not to hire me. It was always you, right? Right back to when I passed the bar and tried to join the firm, you didn't want me.
Was he a little harsh for not believing in Jimmy? Sure, maybe, but Jimmy also cut plenty of corners and screwed people over, and that was never going to change. After all, Jimmy would eventually become immortalized as the king of the sleazeballs, Saul Goodman.
He'll never change. Ever since he was 9, always the same. Couldn't keep his hands out of the cash drawer. But not our Jimmy. Couldn't be precious Jimmy. Stealing them blind. And he gets to be a lawyer? What a sick joke. I should have stopped him when I had the chance.
If Chuck could get Jimmy out of the world of law, he'd be doing everyone a favor in his eyes. And the thing is, you could argue that this would have actually been true.
I know you. I know what you were, what you are. People don't change. You're Slippin' Jimmy. And Slippin' Jimmy I can handle just fine, but Slippin' Jimmy with a law degree is like a chimp with a machine gun. The law is sacred. If you abuse that power, people get hurt.
Number 14, Reverse Flash, Legends of Tomorrow. Alright, Eobard Thawne is a monster, and we're not arguing against that. He's done countless irredeemable things on The Flash, and he's one of the most psychotic supervillains of all.
Just so we're clear, after I kill you, I'm going to kill them, and then I'm going to kill your father. I always win.
However, when Thawne was on Legends of Tomorrow, that was a somewhat different story. On Legends, his motives were to get away from the Black Flash, a speedster version of the Grim Reaper who was chasing him.
Whatever is hunting me is far worse than a time wraith.
Eobard just wanted to not get killed by a deranged zombie. That's pretty understandable. All he needed to get past Black Flash was the Spear of Destiny. Sure, he later used it to rewrite reality in his image, but to be honest, that was just an added bonus of defeating the Black Flash. Don't count Reverse Flash out.
I see your friend is still putting up a fight.
He'll give up. All caged animals do eventually.
Number 13, Shane, The Walking Dead. When you're living in a zombie apocalypse, you have to make some pretty difficult decisions to survive. Shane Walsh is one such person who was known for risky choices. He was often presented as a reckless hothead doing things that were deemed too dangerous.
Get off me, man!
But in actuality, he understood that you had to be tough in order to survive. Ultimately, it's eat or be eaten, and if you want to come out on top, then you need to be prepared to go to war against the zombies.
Time to grow up. You already got yours?
Yeah, where's Dale?
He's on his way.
Oh, we couldn't care.
Yeah, well, we can and we have to. And look, it was one thing standing around here picking daisies when we thought this place was supposed to be safe, but now we know it ain't.
Shane's mindset made other survivors believe that he was a bad guy, but maybe he was simply a realist. In the end, all he wanted was what everyone else did, a shot to live.
Now, if y'all want to live, if you want to survive, you gotta fight for it. I'm talking about fight right here, right now.
Number 12, Ozymandias, Watchmen. We mentioned earlier how Magneto represented the concept of the ends justifying the means, but he's not the only one. There's also Ozymandias. Despite being the smartest person alive, he does something pretty stupid, which is unleash a monster on the world. That being said, Ozymandias' actions, while clearly destructive and despicable, were also somewhat well-intentioned. His end goal was to achieve world peace, and the scary thing was that it actually worked. Well, for a little while at least.
I envision a stronger, loving world committed to caring for the weak, reversing environmental ruin, and cultivating true equality.
By crippling the world, Earth's nations essentially had no choice but to drop their rivalries and start working together. Ozymandias did some truly horrible things, yet they led to a temporarily unified world, making his legacy a complicated one to say the least. Number 11, Mr. Freeze, Batman, the Animated Series. We all do crazy things for love, right? Mr. Freeze is no different. Well, he's a supervillain, but most of his crimes are to help his wife Nora.
Rest well, my love. The monster who took you from me will soon learn that revenge is a dish best served cold.
The Emmy Award-winning episode Heart of Ice explored this dynamic beautifully. It showed us how Nora was the love of Victor's life, but a terminal illness kept her on ice until he could find a cure.
Oh! Oh! Get out! Get out! Nora! Nora!
The rest of the episode was all about him getting revenge on those who wronged him in his quest to save Nora. Mr. Freeze doesn't want to rule the world or kill superheroes. He just wants to get his wife back. It's this level of complexity that has arguably made Mr. Freeze one of Batman's most sympathetic villains of all.
I can only beg your forgiveness and pray you'll hear me somehow. Someplace where a warm hand waits for mine.
Number 10, Frank Grimes, Jr. and Sr., The Simpsons. This father and son duo are well remembered as enemies of the Simpson family, specifically Homer.
So, how's it going, Grammy?
What might not be as well remembered is that both Franks actually had some pretty legitimate reasoning for hating Homer. In the season 8 episode Homer's Enemy, the hardworking, down-on-his-luck Frank Sr. gets a job at the nuclear plant alongside Homer, Lenny, and Carl.
This whole plant is insane!
Frank is driven insane by Homer's continued ability to succeed no matter how little he cares or tries at everything he does, and it leads to him electrocuting himself.
Well, I don't need safety gloves because I'm Homer Simpson.
Several years later, in The Great Louse Detective, Frank Jr. comes after Homer to avenge his father's death.
He's dead! Like you should be.
Number 9, Jeff Hope, Sherlock. Back in the first episode of BBC's Sherlock, Holmes and Watson found themselves up against a villain who's been convincing people to take their own life. When the pair finally uncover the identity of the mystery man, it's revealed to be a terminally ill cab driver named Jeff Hope.
You take the pill from the good bottle, you live. Take the pill from the bad bottle, you die.
Hope was approached by Sherlock's arch-nemesis Moriarty, who offered to leave money to Hope's children for each person he helped take the leap, so to speak. We can definitely understand how a man left with few other choices would succumb to the pressure of a manipulative figure like Moriarty.
Come on, play the game.
Number 8. Niklaus Mikaelson, The Vampire Diaries. Getting his start in seasons 2 and 3 of The Vampire Diaries before moving to his own spin-off with the originals, it's easy to see in hindsight that Klaus got a bad rap.
You are foolish and impulsive, my boy.
His stepfather Michael mistreated him throughout his childhood, and he witnessed his brother Henrik mauled to death by werewolves. To make matters worse, after his mother transformed the family into vampires, he discovered he was different, even among them, born from a secret affair between his mother and a werewolf.
Congratulations, you just became worth more to me alive than dead.
It's no wonder this led to a volatile mix of supernatural power and repressed emotions.
I had hoped to leave Mystic Falls for good, but duty calls.
Nice to know you care.
I don't.
Number 7. Gemma Teller Morrow, Sons of Anarchy. Gemma and her husband Clay served as Sons of Anarchy's biggest villains, though things were definitely blurry at times. It's not hard to understand how Gemma turned out the way she did, considering everything she went through over the course of the series, not to mention earlier in her life. Gemma has suffered through the death of a son and a husband, and is on the receiving end of a great deal of trauma and brutality throughout the series. If you ask her, everything she did to protect herself and her family.
She did this. She did this. She made a deal.
Number 6. The Wildlings, Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones is truly a series full of shades of grey, from complex characters like Jaime Lannister and Theon Greyjoy to entire civilizations like the Wildlings. For most of the inhabitants in Westeros, the Wildlings are definitely the bad guys, violent barbarians not fit to live in civilized lands. But while they may have done some pretty terrible things, they're hardly unique in that regard. And in the series' timeline, they're really only trying to get across the wall so they can survive the impending zombie apocalypse.
We stay here. We're dead men.
It's the folks in Westeros that perceive them to be savages that seem like the problem to us.
That's our enemy. That has always been our enemy.
Number 5. A.L.I.E, The 100. Ah, the double-edged sword of artificial intelligence. It can make our day-to-day lives easier, or it can start a nuclear war and destroy the world.
What are you doing?
Security protocol initiated. Door sealed.
The 100 is full of villains with viewpoints that are understandable, if not always acceptable, like Cage Wallace's attempts to cure his people. But it's truly A.L.I.E that takes the cake in this regard, simply because she never had a choice.
Becca, you already have the blood of billions on your hands. Is it worth risking the rest of us just to prove you're right?
Her programming was to improve life for humans. Reducing the population was the most logical way to do that, and to A.L.I.E, that meant a lot of us had to go. Number 4. Rumplestiltskin, Once Upon a Time. To its credit, Once Upon a Time managed to turn a creepy fairy tale imp into a sympathetic villain with a tragic backstory. Rumple, or Mr. Gold, is tricked into accepting the corrupting powers of the Dark One, and if that wasn't enough, he later loses his son when he travels to another world, and then has his power used against him to send everyone to Storybrooke.
Memories are pain. Pain is strength.
His history eventually causes him to go down a dark path, but one from which he'd eventually find redemption. Seeing the complicated journey of Rumple over the course of the show has shown us how deep his character really is.
That's why I did this. For him. All for the boy.
Number 3. Plankton, SpongeBob SquarePants. Poor Plankton. Everyone hated him until we learned the truth. In the SpongeBob episode Friend or Foe, we find out the real history between Mr. Krabs and Plankton, and it's surprisingly tragic. It turns out that they were friends and partners from a young age who decided to open a restaurant together.
Well, it was your fault the patty was tainted.
You're the one who put too much seaweed sauce in the burger.
After getting into an argument over Old Man Jenkins getting sick, the pair split up and ripped their recipe in pieces, with Plankton only receiving the part that said a pinch of chum.
You want to fight over this recipe? I'll give you a fight you'll never forget!
Well, that explains a lot. Mr. Krabs then lucks into the Krabby Patty recipe, while Plankton is left to his own struggling chum bucket.
I'll show you, Krabs. I'll steal that cursed recipe from you one day.
Number 2. The Man in Black, Lost. From the very beginning of Lost, one of the show's greatest mysteries was the smoke monster in the jungle. It was eventually revealed that the monster was an immortal man whose escape, it was implied, would cause the end of the world. We didn't find out his history until nearly the end of the series, and to be honest, the episode didn't do a great job of making clear exactly what it was that made the island so important. But what we found out for sure is that the Man in Black was raised by a woman who murdered his mother, and who just wanted to leave the island.
And why are you with them?
are a means to an end.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Mike Ehrmantraut, Breaking Bad. Mike Ehrmantraut is so captivating on screen that we almost forget sometimes he's a villain.
So instead of left, I go right out into nowhere. And I kneel him down and I put my revolver in his mouth. And I told him, this is it. This is how it ends.
We saw his transition from cop to criminal in Better Call Saul, and by the time he meets Walter White, Mike's a certified baddie and a key member of Gus Fring's meth organization. While he's committed some terrible acts, he also plans to leave all of his money to his granddaughter, who he often visits and clearly cares for deeply. It's really very sweet. The character's mix of violence and crime with noble motives and a reluctance to hurt anybody who didn't have it coming earns him the top spot on our list.
Don't make me beat you till your legs don't work. Now tell me where to find him. You know it's the right thing.
Are there any other surprisingly sympathetic TV villains we missed? Let us know in the comments.